I am every woman, it's all in me. Anything you want done, baby, I do it naturally. Whoa, 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 whoa. I am every woman, it's all in me. Anything you want done, baby. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hi everyone, story time. Welcome to my I'm Every Woman channel. My name is Lungi. I'm a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, a colleague, and a lover. It's all in me. So, if you're looking for all things women, sit back, relax, and enjoy. That's not to say if you are not a woman, you are not welcome to my channel. You are more than welcome. The more, the better. The more, the merrier. Especially if you'd like to understand the women around you, the women in your life, like your sister, your mother, your neighbor, a little better. Because we discuss all things women here. So if you subscribe and become part of this family, you're going to get to understand us women a little better and hear about our trials and tribulations as women, how we survive our different situations, how we even enjoy life, how we prefer to be treated. And also on this channel, sometimes I cook, but normally I enjoy chatting. It's easier, to be honest. It's easier even with the editing because editing is rough. And because I'm still kind of new in the YouTube streets, in fact, in the entire social media streets, you know, so I'm still kind of struggling with subscribers. I haven't been monetized, so I don't have, the proper gadgets and stuff. But yeah, we're still here, and we're gonna be here till my dying day. That's my wish. That I want to stay here until, because I love it here. I love expressing myself. So today's story time, my Airport Chronicles. Recently, I had an aha moment like Oprah. Remember Oprah Winfrey with the aha moment? And an aha moment when I started realizing why I have such anxiety when I go to the airport. If I have to catch a flight, as much as, it's always exciting to be catching a flight and, unless, of course, the trip has to do with like a funeral or something sad like that. But normally I get excited to be traveling, to be up there, to even afford flying, because sometimes I take a bus, sometimes I take a shuttle. It's so nice now. You don't have to take taxis, normal taxis. Now there's shuttles, door-to-door shuttles that pick you up from your house and, they take you to, in my case, because I usually go to Durban because that's where my parents are. I'm from Durban, Umlazi. So yeah, there's actually shuttles that you can organize that will pick you up from your place and drop you off at your destination at the door, just like Uber Eats. So yeah, where was I? Gosh, I talk too much. Now I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, my airport traumas. So the mind has a way of blocking, situations that are not so nice to recall. So I totally forgotten about those situations. I just only recently started recalling why the anxiety, because it's on another level. Like I can't even sleep. I remember this. I remember this one time when I had to go to Peter Marisbeck. Well, this was going to be a work engagement, amongst other things. And later on, I was gonna be staying a couple of days with my parents. I did not sleep the whole night. Like I didn't sleep a wink. Um, Especially because that Peter Monospec flight was going to be like very early in the morning, like those very early morning flights. I think it was gonna be like a 7, 8 o'clock flight. So even that was giving me anxiety. So I never slept. I kept tossing and turning, and then by like 3 a.m. I was like, you know what? I might as well just get up and just get ready. Because I mean, what's the point? I keep tossing and turning, might as well. So, but then, yeah, I remembered recently uh, one of the reasons why a pod gives me such anxiety, besides the fact that I'm worried about missing my flights, uh, making sure I'm there on time. I normally Uber to the airport. Um, it's because of these two huge traumas that I've experienced at the airport. I don't know if I should call the other incident trauma as well. Yeah, but yeah, it was a trauma as well. But the first one I think was more traumatic. I don't know which one was worse. I guess the first one. So here's the story. So I was this cute lady that I always am. But unfortunately for me, I had just broken up with my person. And so it was a huge, big deal, like life altering situation that I was going through. I was trying to make peace with everything, trying to, pick up the pieces of my broken heart, broken life, broken everything, just trying to keep it together, especially because I had a small baby. My baby was very small, he was like maybe like 6, 7 months. So I was excited. This was an exciting day, Friday night. I had to go to the airport to pick up my brother and his wife. They also had a little baby, so they're coming to visit me to stay over with me. They knew, I've just gone through that situation. So they decided, let's go visit her, stay with her for a while. So they actually took time off from their work, to come and spend time with me. So I felt quite special. Looking forward to that. Had everything planned out. I'd been planning for days for their stay. Um, I, I tend to be a bit of a perfectionist when I'm going to be hosting visitors. It's just what I do. I plan everything down to the T. I even put like I go beyond. I would actually even sprinkle some rose petals on their bed because I mean they are a couple, but I did that. Sprinkle some rose petals, put some little chocolates, like a B&B type of situation. I'm like that. So I was excited. I was looking forward to this. I planned all the activities that we're going to be doing every day till they leave and go back to Durban. I even planned the meals that we're going to have each day. So I drove off to the airport with my little baby, super excited, quite early, decided to be very early. I prefer to be early, when I go to the airport. So this is before I had ever experienced trauma at the airport. This was my very first trauma. So but I just like really enjoyed going to the airport, early enough. So get there at the airport. I'm happy, pushing my baby. Very cute. I had a cute baby. He's still handsome even now. He's all grown up now. Yeah, I'm at the airport and I'm roaming around. Then I decide, that bridge thingy at the airport, the one that connects the main airports with the parkade, the parking building. I decided to stand there and look down at the people who are arriving, being picked up by meter taxis. There wasn't Ubers and things that the e-hailing taxis, they did not exist at that point. This was a while ago. I'm old. So most of my stories are from the past, yeah. So I'm sitting there smiling, enjoying looking at people, and to my horror, I see my recent ex with his new person. The worst part, I knew her. I knew the lady. So you can imagine the palpitations. My heart, I used to hear the saying, my heart, this is Zulu, they say, inhliziyo yacisha phuma ngomlomo. Like my heart nearly popped out of my mouth. That's exactly how I was feeling. Thank God my baby was still small. Because imagine if he was older, how's I gonna explain the way I was suddenly reacting? And because I cried, I couldn't help it. Tears started trickling down my face. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he has moved on so soon. Or has the lady always been there? And why her? And he had actually hinted before, because we co-parent. We are decent co-parenters. It's called co-parenters or co-parents. We co-parent quite decently, till this day. So even back then, as much as the split was something new and shocking to the system, especially my system, because I was never ready for it, we're still quite okay. So we talk, because we had a little baby, so he had to, keep coming to see the baby. And we don't just have one baby anyway. And so he had hinted that, who knows, the person I'm seeing now might just be someone you know. And I thought he was joking, so I brushed it off. So when I was standing there, all those thoughts started coming back. He was like, "Bo, he really did mention, he meant it. How could he do this to me? How can he date someone I know?" Yo, so I had to watch the whole entire thing. I never left. I stood there and watched until the car drove away. I saw him coming out of the car. No, when I noticed them, he was already outside the car. He had parked just there along with the meter taxis. Um, Watched the entire thing, them hugging, kissing, him taking his suitcase and hugging for a long time, like, oh, I missed you, baby. I'm happy you're here. And I'm looking at the size of the suitcase and I'm thinking, it's so huge. How long is she gonna be in Joburg for? Oh my God. Why am I even seeing this? So I watched the entire thing, him taking his suitcase and putting it in the boots of the car, they're kissing again, and then she goes inside the car, and I watched the entire thing. Like I said, with tears trickling down my face. Poor me. And I couldn't even date at that time because I had a small baby. So I just, because it's just going to be better if at least I had my own new person as well, at that point. But, how could I have been with anybody? My baby was my everything at that point. But anyway. And I was busy thinking, but why? Why am I seeing this? Why do I have to witness this? Why is the universe doing this to me? Am I not going through enough as it is? Am I not handling so many things already as it is? Do I need anything more already? Like, why me? I was feeling so sorry for myself. So I stood there. I don't know how long I stood there. I suppose at some point I had to move, check the time to see if my special guest, if their flights have arrived. So can you imagine having to try and keep it together for my guests? Because I'm hosting people. They know how much I've been waiting. I mean, like looking forward, excitedly for their visit. So they expect to see a happy, excited me, So I tried to pretend like everything's okay. And as I'm driving them in the car, they're busy chatting, I mean, Angie, I'm thinking about what I had just seen at the airport, and they're not aware. I don't think they noticed because, there's two babies that they have to keep minding, my baby and their baby, and the whole excitement of being in Joburg, and they're going to be seeing my new house for the first time, post the split. Now I have my own place and stuff. So yeah, got to the house, and so over dinner, I felt I have to tell them because at that point I could see that they had noticed. So I had to tell them what happened at the airport. I mean, they tried their best to, comfort me, to console me, to tell me, man, it's going to be okay. You will also get to that point in your life where you meet someone new. Just let it go. It is what it is. He's allowed to live his life, the way he sees fit. Now your turn will come. So, but we are very sorry that you had to see that, you had to go through that. I just could not wait to call it a night, go to my bedroom and cry myself to sleep. Not that I can really do that. So I was breastfeeding. And, I had a boy baby. You know how much they eat? And he was a plumpy baby at that time. He used to wake up quite a lot at night too. So there's no sleeping throughout. Yeah, it was terrible. But anyway, I tried my best to be okay until my visitors left. But this was really not a nice experience. But I survived it. I never dropped dead. I'm still here, aren't I? Okay, then the second incident. Now it's years later. Life is good. I've moved on. Now I've got my special person too. It's just after Christmas. We have planned this massive holiday in Cape Town. But we had planned, okay, babe, you're going to have Christmas with your family. I'm going to have my Christmas in Durban with my family. He was from another province. And you're going to meet in Cape Town on the 26th. So I could not wait. It was the best Christmas for me that year because I couldn't wait the following day to be with my babe. And you're going to be in Cape Town until like the 10th of Jan. Imagine. On the 26th till the 10th of Jan. Just the two of us. Well, I can't quite remember if it was until the 10th, but we're going to stay for quite a while. And I remember very well that we're not going to come back on the 2nd, on the 3rd or the 5th, because that's the norm. We didn't have a 9 to 5. We were self-employed at that point. So we could afford to stay longer, during the festive season. Not having to worry about, having to report to the office type of situation. You know how it is. So it's very happy times for me. And the kids were dirty, so I was free as a bird. So yeah, and it was not easy for me, with the whole parent situation. Like my parents are still alive, okay, and it was just not easy to have to tell them that I'm leaving after Christmas because I'd never done that before, because at that stage I was single. I always spent, in fact, even when I was not single, I used to spend time with my parents during Christmas time, be in Durban for quite a while, so they'd never experienced me leaving Durban, like picking up and leaving Durban completely and going to wherever. So I just was not comfortable. I only told them on Christmas Day that tomorrow I'm leaving. And I don't know, my parents looking at me like, yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow. I've got plans. So I can't remember if I told them that I'll be going to Cape Town. I can't remember. Yeah. But it was not easy. With parents, you are always a child. They always see you as a child. So I thought that they were going to give me a hard time Like in my crazy mind, I even thought that they were going to say, no, you're not going there. Of course, they wouldn't have done that. Even if they tried, I would have been like, no, I'm leaving. Anyway, so I was going to catch a morning flight. So I left home quite early because I was excited. I could not sleep. My flight was going to be around 9 o'clock. So by 7 a.m., yeah, 7 a.m., I was already at the airport and decided I'm going to have breakfast there at the airport. Because I'm early, So I get there, looking all cutesy, go grab some breakfast there, back and bean, life is good. I'm happy. After that, I go to the main airport because back in Bean is a little outside the airport. Back then, I don't know now. So I then decided to go to exclusive books because I figured, okay, I still have time. Let me go to exclusive books and read whatever I can find interesting there. I got hold of this book. I was so engrossed in this book. I read the book. And then by the time I came to, by the time I realized, table, come there. I'm here at the airport to catch a flight. I'm going to, oh my gosh! The way I rushed upstairs. And when I came, the ladies there, the airport ladies, they're looking at me like, already I'm panicking, and they're like, sorry, ma'am, you've missed your flight. I'm like, but like, boarding has been closed, so no, you've missed your flight. We can't allow you in. We tried to call you on the intercom, the airport intercom. We kept calling out your name. You never came. Where were you? Ooh, at this time, I'm panicking, still hoping that they're gonna say no. You can still quickly, run through. But they were like, no, you've missed a flight. Where were you? And everybody now is looking now, causing quite I'm a spectacle now at the airport. Like, I was at exclusive books. Like, wow, we've missed a flight. I'm sorry. Where were you going? It's to Cape Town, and I'm still going there. You guys had better make a plan for me. When is the next flight? They're like, all the flights are booked, but we could put you on standby. The next flight is like at 12:30. So, but you're gonna have to pay extra. Oh my goodness. I did not have money. Embarrassing as it was, I did not have the money. I had spent all the money before Christmas and during Christmas, and I knew this was going to get paid on the 27th. Okay, I expected money on the 27th. My man expected money on the 28th. So he was just as broke as me. And I'm like, so how much do I have to pay? They said 500 and something. God, I don't have that much. And I said, well, that's how much you're going to have to pay if you want to catch the 12:30 flight. I'm like, so what am I going to do now? And the only person, not the only, the first person that came into my mind was my ex. Imagine I have to phone my ex to ask for money to meet another man. Scandalous, I know, very scandalous. And of course, I didn't tell him, the ex, nor did I tell the current. I didn't tell him anything. The current man in my life was waiting for me in Cape Town very excitedly, knowing that by 11 I'll be in Cape Town. He had no idea. I'm still in Durban. I missed my flight, and now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to pay the extra. What do they call that money? The extra fare or fee that you have to pay if you've missed a flight. It's the replacement fee or whatever. Yeah. So, indeed, I call my ex. And I can just imagine what he thought when he saw my call. Because he's with the kids, so why am I calling him? Maybe I want to ask something about the kids. So I tell him very quickly to the point, I need money. I'm stuck at the airport. I've missed my flight. Now I have to pay the difference. Uh, it's like, how much? You know, he's a man of few words. He's a man of few words during those kind of situations. It's like, how much? And he sent me without asking me too much. He didn't ask, who are you meeting in Cape Town? Why? It was Christmas yesterday. He didn't ask me all those questions. It was just like, how much? And he sent me the money. And I was so excited. So I managed to pay to get the, space in that 12:30 flight. So I look at the time, like, oh, it's still early. So I go down. I go back downstairs yet again. Back again to exclusive books. To continue with the book, because the book was quite interesting. Did the second flight not leave me? The second flight left me. Again. And again, the ladies at the airport called me over at they announced over and over via the intercom, Lungile, Lungile, Lungile. No Lungile. Lungile is nowhere to be found. Same scenario. Come upstairs, panicking. They're like, they're already shaking their heads like when I came back. They're like, And I just cried. Just broke down and cried. They're like, Sissy, you know what? If I were you, I would forget about this trip. It means you're not meant to go on this trip. It means something bad is going to happen to you when you get to Cape Town. Are you visiting family? And at that point, I'm not prepared to talk. Why are you asking me questions? Of course, I didn't say that. It's me now thinking, leave me. Make a plan. Instead of asking me questions. But they all standing there waiting for me to answer. I remember the other lady saying, where Boza? Like she's asking you, who are you meeting there? So I look at them like, I'm thinking, these ladies have gotta be kidding me. They really expect me to explain my story. I don't have to explain myself to them. But I realized, you know what? If I want them to help me, I'm going to have to answer. I'm going to have to be nice and give them all the answers that they need because obviously I've become an entertainment in this airport. So I tell them, I'm meeting my boyfriend. Like, it means Jenna is somebody, maybe someone in your life or maybe someone in his life who's against this getting together situation that you guys are doing. So Nje, I will just go home. And the other lady asked, where are you from? Yeah. I didn't want to answer, but then I quickly remembered, I need them to help me, somehow. I'm sure they can make a plan for me like they did before, So I had to tell them, I'm from Umlazi. House and Umlazi is not so far. Just go back home and just accept Ubutiji, the trip is not going to happen. I mean, you're missing a second flight. I mean, I remember that you said you don't have the money, but somehow you managed to get the money. So now what's going to happen now? Because you're going to have to pay again. At the moment, I just cried. And at that moment, I had already told the boyfriend, so I've missed the flight, but until 12:30, so don't panic, babe. I'm still coming. I'm sorry about this, but I'll be in your arms sooner than you think. So now what am I going to do? What am I going to do now? I can't phone my ex again and ask for money again and tell him I've missed the flight again. Like, I can't do none of that, So I just broke down and cried. I did contemplate going back home, but I was like, there's no way. We've planned these holidays, and I had lots of luggage. Us women, we overpack when we go on a holiday. I wanted to look nice for my man. Beach things, summer things, evening things, lounging things when you're going to be staying, indoors and not going out. I had lots of luggage. So I was just imagining myself, the trouble now of having to go back home after all the planning, the packing with these 2 huge suitcases. I have to go back home. Go back home and do what? I haven't planned anything except for this trip. And what about my man who's already in Cape Town? So I was like, no ways. So I told the ladies, guys, can't you make a plan for me? They're like, ah. And then one of the ladies said, hey, let me check. And they said, oh, there's a space in the 8 o'clock flight. So you are very lucky. But yeah, it means you have to wait till, till 7:30. Are you prepared to wait till 7:30? I mean, now it's just after 12. I was like, I don't have a choice. And then they said, you're going to have to pay. You know the drill. You're going to have to pay extra. And I was like, oh my God. And I cried yet again. And they're like, why don't you ask your man to send you the money? Who send you the money? And I said, you don't want to know. Trust me, you don't want to know who sent me the money. But no, it was not the boyfriend. Then I had to explain. Imagine having to explain the money situation. I'm only getting paid on the 27th, which is tomorrow. He's also getting money on the 28th. So, we both don't have money at this point, except for the money to travel to Cape Town. We had told ourselves we're going to spend the first 2 days indoors, we're not going to go anywhere until we get paid, until I get my money, until he also gets his money. So at this point, we totally broke. And they're like, yes, yeah, I should just give up, accept, and go home. How about you, Imlas? Back to your parents. I get to tell you, Imlas, go back to your parents, just let it go, And of course, there was no way I was gonna go home. I'm a fighter, babe. I fight, especially for the one that I love. I loved my man, and I wanted to be with my man. So I begged. I literally begged for the ladies. I even said, can I speak to your manager? Imagine. And you know what? They allowed me. I got to get on the 8 o'clock flight without paying any extra money. And they said, please, we beg you, do not go downstairs. Just sit up here. Unfortunately, and wait for your 8 o'clock flight. I could not believe it. But of course, they were right. Because then I lose track of time when I'm in that exclusive box. So I waited, sat there on this chair for what felt like hours and hours. I befriended the security personnel. They have stories for days, those security guys. They're telling me about the different situations that happen at the airport, people who have to spend the night there. They even showed me, I learned a lot about the Shaka airport that day. Because they even showed me this little lounge sleeping place for those who've missed their flights, or those who, like if you miss a flight and you have to catch it the following day, and you can't afford to book yourself at a hotel. There's actually places like that at the airport. Yeah, and they told me about the stories of people who are caught with drugs and stuff, and yeah. So eventually, the time came for me to catch my third flight of the day, and I made it. At this point, boyfriend was very pissed off, as you can imagine. But I was like, man, bottom line, I'm in the flight now, babe. Just, please, I'm gonna get there. I'll be there. Oxalai, I'm coming to you, baby. We're gonna have this fun time in Cape Town as planned. So, yeah, I arrived at the airport. He was already there, waiting for me to pick me up. Remember, there were no Ubers at that time, except meet the taxis, and you know how crazy expensive they can be. So there were no Ubers. He was waiting to pick up. Even if there were Ubers, there's no way. He was looking forward to see me. I was looking forward to be out of the house after being stuck there the whole day. Imagine, he arrived there very early. He had been there since around 9-10 a.m. So he'd been by himself all the time waiting for me. So yeah. But you know what happened? It took us an hour, an entire hour, if not a little more than that, for us to find each other. We're getting lost within the airport. We could not quite meet at, I don't know, we're looking all over. We just could not find each other. Like, it was the craziest thing. Like, at this point, we're screaming at each other on the phone, like, where are you? I'm like, it's such and such a place. But somehow we just kept missing each other. I just don't know. That was the craziest day ever. Because it's not like it was our first time to be at the Cape Town airport. But I don't know, that day, maybe it's because of all the stress. I don't know. But yeah, it took an entire hour before we could finally, like, okay. And can you imagine me, after having spent the entire day being traumatized at the Durban airport, now finally arrived in Cape Town, I have to spend another hour of more trauma of the day, pushing that trolley with those massive suitcases. Yeah, this was not nice. That was not nice. I'm sure the people at the airport were thinking, what is wrong with her? But finally, we eventually met. We didn't even hug. We didn't even kiss. Got in the car. We drove all the way without talking to each other. It's quite a distance from the airport to our destination. We are not talking to each other in the car. So it's just silence. And when we got to the destination, we were just not talking to each other. It took a while before we could eventually, That was just crazy. But sometimes when things start like that, it's a sign that you're gonna have like a fantastic, fabulous time. Oh my word. We had the time of our lives. One of the best holidays. The best holidays that I've ever had. It was so much fun. We had so much fun. I don't remember that when it was time for us to go back to Joburg. We broke again. We had spent so much money. We had not booked return flights. So we had to take a bus back to Joburg, imagine. We child the money. And you could not afford to fly back. We had to take a bus. Yeah. So those were my airport traumas, my airport chronicles. How about the pigtails? What do you think? If you are from my TikTok, I mentioned, would say, I'm trying to hold on to my youth, my non-existent youth. Gibambi age. That's what we say in Zulu. We say Gibambi age. Like, I'm holding on to my youth. I'm trying to stay a little younger for longer. Of course, I embrace my senior years. Fumi Disalvold, one of my favorite YouTubers. Fumi says it's a blessing to be older because it means your creator, the universe, has blessed you enough to live, till your senior years, because others are not so lucky, others are not so blessed. So you should embrace it, enjoy it, and be proud and be grateful. So yes, I am, but it doesn't mean I enjoy some of the things that come with being old, like the wrinkles and stuff. So thank God to filter and makeup, and hairstyles like this, and the dye, because I had to dye my hair. Obviously, my hair is not this black anymore, given my age. So thank God for all those things. They help us to look and feel younger and prettier. When I look good, I feel good, and I do make an effort to look good for myself and for you guys out there. Well, guys, we've come to the end of our story time for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're seeing me for the first time, I hope you're going to come back for more. and I hope you you are going to subscribe. And if you've been here for more than twice, thrice, and you keep coming back to see this lady, and you enjoy what I have to say, what I have to share, what you have to learn, and you have not subscribed, why haven't you subscribed? Please subscribe so we can, make this circle bigger. Take care of yourselves, guys, out there. Stay living and stay walk. Till we meet again. Goodbye.